Hi, everybody. My name is Tony Ann Marcolini. Welcome to the podcast. It may interest you to know. And if you listen at all, you know by now that I'm really into jazz. So I'm super excited this week to get to talk to DeeAnn. So welcome.
Thank you, Tony, for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, I'm really, again, really excited to get the chance to talk to you. That's the kind of music I listen to, is exactly what you sing. So this is a real treat for me.
That's
Um,
awesome.
so you have a new single coming out, Simply Beautiful.
Yes, I'm very excited about it. April 4th, it's going to be released on all platforms.
So let's talk about this. I mean, I know usually I do a little preface, it takes me a while to get to the latest stuff, but I'm just curious. I wanted to, for some reason, I'm struck by the song. It's quite beautiful. Um and I guess I want to know if there's a backstory there.
It was just one of those where a good friend of mine who really believes in my music, um, he's actually part of backing it up financially too. And he said, I have one request, Simply Beautiful. And then my producer, Ted Perlman, said, I think you should do Simply Beautiful. So I was like, okay, they're both saying this to me. And I just listened to different versions of it. Of course, Al Green, the main singer and writer. And I was like, it is simply beautiful. And I need to learn, I need to sing this song. And that's really how it started. I just fell in love with the song.
It is. It's quite lovely. It really is a pretty song. So are you typically involved in the songs that you picking the songs you sing? I know a lot of people they have management, tell them what the right songs are for them.
Right.
What does your creative process look like? I mean, is this all about you doing music that
Yeah,
you select, or is it more or less given to you?
it's both. My producer gave me several songs to listen to. Some he wrote, some he co-wrote. I gave him some ideas that I wrote, and then we even wrote a song together on there. But then we picked some covers too. So he would say, "You sure about that one?" Or we would definitely communicate. We want to both be on the same page.
Sure. Well,
So we
you're
picked
working
that
with
one.
your new producer, Ted Perlman, right?
Yeah.
This is the first time you've collaborated?
Yes,
Yeah.
Tom Espy, who introduced me to you, my PR, I asked him, I said, I'm looking for a new producer, and he mentioned Ted Perlman. So we got on the phone, Ted and I, and it was instant connection. I mean, he's a legend. He's worked with all the greats.
Oh yeah, Whitney Houston, right? Burt
Burt Bacharach,
Bacharach, Harry Belafonte.
just a few, Manhattan Transfer, Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
So, across many genres. And so he amazed me because he did his homework. He listened to me, on YouTube or on different platforms, and he really studied my voice. And he came back and he just told me, "This is what you are." I'm like, "Wow, you got it. Thank you for listening." So he wanted to bring out that sultry jazz, soul, neo soul kind of thing when we put this album together.
Tell me what the creative process looks like for you. I mean, it's not so simple, right? Is getting some sheet music and just walking into a studio. Most of the times, even if if it's not a song, even if it's a song you've written, I guess it's a little bit different. But if it's a song you haven't written, I guess there has to be some element of making it your own. No?
He
Um,
definitely is a big part of that.
yeah.
Like we did a cover of Feel Like Making Love to You. That's actually on the album. And I love singing that song. And especially since she just passed. I mean, it's just a beautiful song. She was a beautiful singer. Um, he changed it up a bit, a little different than I heard it, but it's working. It's cool. It's different. Simply Beautiful, we kept similar to the song. Um, there's a couple, the album was a mix of genres, and there's a couple songs that we brought in because of family reason. So I'm really proud of those. I can't wait to share those. And it's just a mixture. Definitely jazz, straight ahead jazz, soul, R&B. It's all in one album.
Yeah, I mean, you just recently won, right? The Jazz Female Vocalist of the Year.
Yeah, I was really excited because I've won like pop vocalist, and because I've done different genres throughout the years, and never won the jazz. So it felt special to get that out of your own hometown. Yes.
Now, what I'm curious about is I don't know if you know in advance that you won.
No, I
Like,
actually didn't know. I
did
was
they tell you before the festival?
no. So I
They
was in
don't.
West Palm Beach recording because that's where my producer is now. And he was in Nashville. He moved to West Palm, so I've been back and forth to both cities. And my friend who I mentioned earlier, who's invested into, financially, and he loves my voice, he texted me. It was so funny. He's like, "Congratulations, you must be so happy." I'm like, what are you talking about? I woke up that morning, I got that text from him. So no, I didn't know. You don't know until the results are out.
Yeah, so what is that reaction like when you win? You're like Tom Cruise, you're sliding across the floor in your underwear, or just
You're funny. I didn't do exactly that. I might have done a dance across the hotel floor there. And then I had a little bit of tears because I've been through a lot tragedies in the last few years. So it was like such a lift. And I was just grateful. I'm a strong believer in God. So I was just like, thank you, God. And then I did the dance. But yeah, I might have just been in a t-shirt too, because it was morning time.
Well, I mean, it's really nice to get accolades, right? Because
Yeah,
you do it because you do things because you
that's the
love
dog.
them. Yeah,
Daddy?
beauty.
Sorry about that.
You do things because you love them, but to get acknowledgement, I think, that's got to be cool.
From your own peers too,
Sure.
I was just out last night and I was just thinking about musicians. We're all kind of like a little crazy. And we were all hanging out together. I said, God, you don't get to do that all the time. And I said, it's just so nice to hang out with all you guys because we're all on the same page. And yeah, it's nice to get respect from them, along with your fans. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you talking about, being in a position that had some years where you suffered tragedies, things have happened. You actually highlight, right? There's sort of a tribute, if you will, to your son, your brother, and your dad as part of this
Mhm.
new album.
Yes, all three are involved in two songs. My
Yeah.
last album, it was all happening during the loss of my child, during my son William. And I didn't even think I'd finish the album. My producer, Rashawn O'Dowd, he was awesome in trying to push me to come back and finish the album. And I did do a song I used to sing for William every night, "You Are My Sunshine." So that's on that album, my album, "It's My Time," which was my last one. This one, Ted and I were talking about, things that have gone on in our lives because we were getting to know each other a little too. Because you're working together, so you want to know each other a little too. And one of the songs that was so funny, "I'm Still Standing." So that's kind of giving little sneak peeks, but
Elton John.
yeah. So he says, "Man, you have lost a lot." And in 6 years, I lost, my brother, my son, and my father, and three amazing men in my life. And I said, "But look at me, I'm still standing." And then we both went, "I'm still standing." Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right. So he's like, "We should put that on the album." So we did. And but he changed it around. It's got like a R&B kind of soul bop to it.
Five. Yeah.
And he was so creative. My father and I recorded two songs on my first album. My father being an amazing jazz singer. And we did Unforgettable
Ah,
and Fly Me to the Moon with my producer, Rashawn O'Dell. So he took the
timeless classics.
yes, and he took the line, couple lines from Fly Me to the Moon, AI, which is awesome, right? And he grabbed Fly Me to the Moon. And he grabbed that and he put it into I'm Still Standing. And then there's another line where my dad will say, I love you. And he put that in the song.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And he puts it in periodically throughout the whole song. And then I echoed back with him after he sings it. I'm like, fly me to the moon. And then we add harmonies to that. So all this little creativity, these little moments in the song. And my brother, who I lost, huge Elton John fan, went and saw him live, has the Elton John hat that was thrown into the audience on one of the concerts. So the song is a combination of my brother and my father.
Yeah. Really, that you got the opportunity to do that is monstrously cool.
Oh, it's so cool. And we did it with another song too for my son. Ted is crazy. He's got crazy ideas, but they're good.
Well, I mean, with the collection of people that he's worked with over the course of the years, I mean,
Oh,
he's
I
got
was
really
honored. He's
solid
worked with,
ideas, right? You want to be
yeah.
creating with somebody like that.
And he works really fast. And I know when we're working together, I've learned quickly, do not talk, DeeAnn. He's creating. Stay quiet for a second. You learn fast how to respect each other's boundaries on that.
Yeah, well, you co-wrote, right? A song, Sing to Me together.
Yes.
Let's talk about that. So, what does co-writing look like with someone? I mean, do you both write all the lyrics together? Do you like what do you put
So,
in- and then he does part, and then
yeah, mostly the way it's been happening in my life, and everyone's different. With Rashawn, it happened that same way because I had a lot of originals on the first two CDs. This CD is definitely less originals, more covers. But I usually would come up with a melody. I come up with the lyrics, and I just start singing it. And I play piano a little and guitar, so I created it. And then I've always been it's you're vulnerable giving
oh,
your words.
really hard, right?
Yeah.
To create something
So
and then let it go into the world is
oh
not
yeah.
an
So I
easy
always
thing.
say don't laugh. Whatever
Like
you
you
do,
create it
don't.
and you put it out there for people, and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, look at it.
Yeah. And you know what?
Yeah.
Just like anything, some people are gonna love it and some people aren't. And as long as I love it. So yeah, so we started that song and it originally started with different lyrics, but we changed it around. So he did help me with some of the lyrics on this song too. But I had the melody and then he puts the all the music around it. And
Yeah, wow. I
so
mean,
it's
just to
definitely
even get the opportunity to collaborate with him. I mean, I think collaboration is very big in your industry, right? I say this all the time. It's not the same as writing a book, right? You write a book, it's kind of solitary for all intents and purposes. But like producing a movie or creating music, there's so many hands in it along the
yeah,
way, right? And because there are the initial people who put it down on paper, of course, the song, the melody, the words. But then who's going to sing it, how are they going to arrange it, how the musicians that are going to come in, are they going to add a little spin to it that's different? Down to what the engineers who put it
right,
together. I mean, there's so many hands collaborating to make a final product that I think you really you have to be able to sync like that. I think to be in your industry, to be able to join forces to create and understand it's a process. Right? It's really
right.
hard to go anywhere if you just think I'm an island.
No, right. No, I love collaborating with musicians. Love it.
Yeah.
And
So
harmonizing.
I have to know, is this a life dream of yours to sing? I mean, was this something you're humming in the cradle? Or like were you like an accountant for the first 20 years and
No, no accountant. I love math, but no.
you're
Um,
humming in the cradle?
yeah, I was 7. I knew then. I don't know why. I just remember knowing then that's what I want to do. And then when I went to college,
Were
I
you
knew,
like in taking music lessons? Are you in the
oh,
choir?
I was in, oh, geez, and I was in choir since 3rd grade and
Yeah.
got into high school. And I tell this story all the time. The middle school teachers, I don't know why. I think she didn't like me. So she puts me, we get into the high school choir, and she puts me in the B choir. So the choir teacher, Mr. Few is his name, he was listening to each one of us. Like the first week, he listens to all of us alone, individually. And he said, "What are you doing in the B choir? Tomorrow you're in the A choir." And I was like, yes. And then just got into swing choir and got into um, competitions, all state, all county, did some a cappella groups, girls quartet, everything I can do, music theory. I started grabbing every music opportunity and took guitar lessons. I started studying piano, I went to school and to college. So yeah, it was always there.
Yeah.
It's like it's an organ, it's part of your body, it never leaves.
Isn't it funny? The most creative people I talk to, uh, they all sort of say that, like it was there from when they were young.
It never
Some
leaves.
people say like I went sensible for a while, like did something ultra sensible and didn't, and pushed that away, but it never went away, and inevitably, like I changed my career and decided to go, I think it bubbles back up to the surface.
Oh, I went to school, I went to college and quit 2 times just for the first 2 years. I ended up getting a bachelor's, but the first 2 years, I have associates in music therapy. And the it took me so long to get it because I quit 2 times to go on the road. And nobody understands that. But us musicians do. I had an opportunity to go with this amazing singer, and I'm like going.
Yeah, to
We'll
get that
always
chance
be
to
there when I
create.
get back, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. I think when you're so in tune to wanting to create whatever it is, right? And that's your passion, um, that's a dream you sort of have to follow, right?
Oh, yeah. And if you don't follow it, I think that you always, it's always like this heartache,
Mm,
it's not being fed. And
mhm.
and you don't have to be a big star. You have to release this creativity that's in you, whether you're an artist, a painter, sports, the same thing. It's like some people just have these dreams. They wanted to play football when they were 5 and they knew that. You have to pursue it because then you're going to always be like, wow, life would have been different if I didn't.
Right.
And
Regrets are not an easy thing, right? To
yeah,
have.
so
Despite,
when I had my kids, I put my music sort of aside, but not really. I started teaching music at their school and I taught pre-K to 8th grade and I put on these huge concerts and I made them fun and I sang in churches and for weddings and funerals. So I was still doing it, but I wasn't like in the public scene as far as like the bar scene or the clubs or any of that. And then after my brother passed, he was the first, and suddenly I realized, life is way too short.
yeah.
It's time for me to like stop teaching, and I'm just going to pursue my music more. And that's
Yeah.
how I wrote my first song, "Everybody's Got a Story," because that's when I realized, people walk around with a smile, but you have no idea the pain that might be going.
Agreed.
Yeah, you have no idea. And
Agreed. I think you meet people where they are, and I've said this before, but so I'm a cancer survivor, right? And
oh, that's
yeah, but you never know where you're like. There are people who um are going through stuff in life, and this kind of stuff is getting them through. The thought of the book they may read that night, or the show they may watch, or the music, the new music CD that's coming out that they're going to listen to, or in some cases they're listening to while they're going through treatment or the like. I mean, you don't know how you're touching people when you create something and you put it out into the world. So it's such a valuable and, in my mind, underrated thing that you do, right? Because people do rely upon that, right? To get their,
More than
sometimes to
they,
get their
more than
joy.
they admit it. Yeah.
Yeah, more than they admit it. Like, to not only to get some joy, but also to see them through sometimes a tough thing where you need that moment that can carry you into something else, your thoughts into something else. How many people go through MRIs, right, with the headphones on, like to be able to get, and what are they doing? They're listening to music that soothes them or creates a mental atmosphere. People study with music on that helps them. It's the reality is it makes a difference in more ways. It's such a valuable gift that you're sharing with the world.
Thank you. Yes, I agree. When I was teaching my middle school kids, I would show a movie scene and I would show it with the music on, playing and the background music. And then I would show the same scene without any music. And I said, what do you think? And I was like, oh, yeah, no. If it's a scary movie, da 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 da, you're
The
not,
Jaws theme, find me someone who doesn't look around for the shark.
yeah. And you just you kind of take it for granted. You don't realize that you're in the elevator going upstairs to a doctor's appointment that you don't want to go to, but you're hearing that music and you don't realize. I hear it, I'm more sensitive to it, and I might be thinking, what song is that? Or start singing to it. But a non-musician just might hear it and be soothed by it and not even know they are.
That's exactly right. That's
Mm-hmm.
exactly right. I
Grocery
say this all the
store.
time. These type of creative, and this is one of the reasons I focus on creativity so much, and that's what my podcast is about. Because I think creative people who take bits and pieces of themselves and put it out into the world in all these forms really are providing an amazing gift and service to the world that is just not acknowledged. It really isn't. So I say thank
Yeah.
you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for validating that. I used to sing in funerals. I stopped ever since I lost my son because I can't do it right now. But
Yeah,
I used to get all kinds of thank you cards. How much the music, my voice, the pianist that usually have accompanied me, like how much that soothed them and helped them get through the hardest time in their life. Like you hear that and you want to keep doing it.
yeah. So now let's talk about just the album coming out. It's jazz. Is this your cup of tea? Is there anything left in you that you're like, you know what, there's another genre I'd like to take a spin with? Or is jazz like, no, this is my you
I'm
know,
jazz, soul, blues. I mean, I'd
yeah,
have to say that's where I come from. That's what
okay,
it has always been wanting to come out. But I started with pop. Actually, I
of
started
course. Yeah.
started with rock. And
I
then I
think
went,
when we're young, we don't appreciate, I think, the rhythm and blues, soul. I mean, I think we don't really appreciate jazz until I'm not sure. I think there's a threshold age. I think you have to be over 35 before you really go, hey, that's kind of cool.
yeah, I just think that people stereotype it. They just think jazz and they think one style, but it's a lot more than just, what is in their head because there are so many vocalists. For me, I listen, obviously I listen to the vocalists, but that just bring you into that song, make you
Yeah.
feel every bit of it and jazzy soul again. And I'm like, where was I? Why wasn't I listening to that before? But I guess I just had to go through some different genres to get to that point. And my father always being a jazz singer. So when I played him the last album, I played him My Funny Valentine that's on there and Blue Skies. And he's listening and he just says, he calls me Dolly. He says, he's got a tear running down his cheek. Dolly, you finally made it.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's always been in me. I just had to go through some different, but I love to me, a song is a song. If the song moves you, it's a great song. If it moves
Again,
you to
agree.
dance, just to move you to dance, it's a great song.
So tell me, tell everybody how they can get more information about you.
So my website is deeannmusic.com. So it's DeeAnn music.com. And that has a lot of information on there. I'm on Spotify and Apple under DeeAnn, DeeAnn. Facebook, DeeAnn DeMayo. The DeMayo gets thrown in there.
Yeah, I
DIL.
wasn't even sure. We talked about that before we went
Yeah,
on the air, right? It's the fact that, musically, you kind of sing under DeeAnn, right? I mean, there's
yeah,
not a lot out there with your last name, so I wasn't even sure if it was made public or not. But yeah,
yeah. It's all my father's fault. Actually, my mother's fault because when I was born, they named me a different name. I blame them all the time. I was Deborah Marie for 2 weeks.
then they changed their mind like 2 weeks in. They're like, no, no.
Because my dad saw DeeAnn when he was in the war. He saw one of the guys, that was, I don't think if they were sharing a place together, but he said he would see him write a letter to his loved one, and her name was DeeAnn. So he told my mother, I really want to name our daughter, if we have a daughter, DeeAnn. And my mother was like, no, I'm all set. Deborah Marie. So 2 weeks into my life, they changed. I'm
How
glad they did.
funny is that? Now that's a
It's
great
funny.
story. You
It's,
start the world with one name, and you're like, doesn't fit her.
yeah,
Switch it up. I like that.
yeah.
I like that. You see, I've seen that on like sitcoms and stuff. I forget which one. There's one sitcom where like she had one name and then like she finds out years later that she started the life with a totally different name. And she's like, "You're just telling me now?" Like that's
Oh, and the best part is I would ask each parent. My parents were divorced, and so for many years, and Mom, how long was I Deborah Marie? I don't know. Few weeks. Dad, how long was I Deborah Marie? I don't know, 4 to 6 weeks, 8 weeks. I'm like, do you guys know? Do you? And I think it was 2 weeks.
yeah.
I really don't know to this day, but I think that's how long it was.
Well, Dan, I hope that you will. I'll put the link up to your website. I hope that you'll come back and keep talking to me,
Oh,
especially as you keep creating stuff and as just as time goes on. I hope you'll come back and visit again.
I really enjoyed talking to you. You're so easy to talk to. And, I watched your YouTubes and videos and stuff, and you've definitely been with many, many important people.
Oh, I love having these conversations with all of you. I mean, the business that, you're all in creating stuff. Like I said, I give so much respect. I mean, certainly there's creativity in almost any job, right? There's a
Yeah.
certain element of creativity, but the kind of creativity that you're talking about, that you put out into the world for people to stare at, and judge. You gotta
And
have a thick
judge.
skin. You gotta have a thick skin, I think. And I think it's just such
Oh,
a
yeah.
gift, right? That I like it. I really enjoy having conversations with people just like yourself, talking about your
I know.
process.
Simply Beautiful will be out on all platforms April 4th. So pretty soon.
Well, I love it. I've heard a little bit of it already. I hate to say, I hate to jump ahead on everyone, but I actually have heard it. Um, but it's a beautiful, beautiful song. You'll fall in love with her music. Honestly, download the whole album. You won't regret it.
Yeah, we're thinking the album probably more in June, late May, June for the release of the album.
Well, I'll be looking for it. Looking forward to it coming out. I've listened to plenty of your other stuff, and it's honestly all good. I mean, it's all beautiful. You're not going to go wrong with any of her material. I'm looking forward to the album. This song is through the roof good.
Oh, thank you.
So
I mean,
come back and talk to us, and
absolutely.
we're gonna close out the podcast. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.